Hey guys, thanks for coming out. Thanks for coming out to talk about renovation lending. I always like to start out asking a couple questions. Who here, show of hands, I know you have, who's done a renovation loan? There's a guy. I think you did one on your home personally.
Right.
Attaboy. Who else? Raphael out there. Anyone else done? Craig, you've done them in the past, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, excellent. So if obviously if you've done one, you know how great of a product it is and how valuable it can be for yourselves and your clients, right? And we're going to talk a lot today about the value of using this program. And we're not going to get into the nuts and bolts of how the lending part of it itself. We're going to focus on how you can use this to grow your business, right? So does anyone know, obviously you guys are real estate agents and experienced real estate agents, what is the number one reason a property does not sell? Everyone took this.
Condition of the property?
Man, what? No, that's not the number one. What's the number one reason?
Overpriced.
Price. Damn, see, this guy took the class before. So what's the number two reason a property doesn't sell? Condition of the property. So I would ask you, what if you had both of those terrific problems together? You have an overpriced property in not so great condition, right? What do? You say renovation lending, right? There's one thing that's awesome about this product is we do not require an as-is appraisal. So remember that or write it down, whatever, because that's super important, right? No as-is appraisal. That will solve a lot of problems with the property being overpriced in the condition it is, right? So you can hit the screen, the next one. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the benefits for you as an agent, right? Who loves taking every Saturday and Sunday, getting in their car, driving around, and showing 25 properties to a buyer? Anyone love that? Yeah, I got one guy. That one guy. I know we love it, right? I mean, let's face it. The save time, view less homes. Would you agree that a buyer knows kind of where they want to live? If they don't know where they want to live, I mean, you got a bigger issue, right? But if a client knows, hey, I want to live, we're in Downers Grove here. I want to live in Downers Grove. We know in this market, there's only X amount of houses. We all have, and the buyer has Google, right? And I go to realtor.com, 64.
And then like
we hate the kitchen, we hate the bath. We got a guy in the audience that said, no way, you hate the bath, I'll fix the bath for you, right? And that's what this is about. So number two, where you're able to purchase a property in any condition, right? So, and some people don't believe when I say it. When I say any condition, we don't care if there are interior walls in the property, no kitchen, no baths. Doesn't matter. If you can look up and look through the roof to the sky, we can finance that property. So that's why neighborhood loans pre-approval is the best pre-approval. We call it a dual pre-approval because they're pre-approved for renovation or move-in ready homes. So wouldn't you like to have that pre-approval instead of whoever you were working with? Welcome, Fred. Whoever you were working with and says, great, I found this perfect home for my buyer, but it needs a furnace, it needs a bathroom. We're like, whoa, wait a minute, we can't lend on that. Well, we're here to tell you that we can. Okay. So you can bid on estate sales, auction, cash only. If an agent has this property listed as TLC, what are the other favorite words? bring your ideas, to those
Handyman
cash,
special.
handyman special. That's what I was looking for. Handyman special. Investor only. I would challenge that, right? This is as good as a cash offer because we're not asking that seller to do any repairs, right? Give us the house. The buyer will do the repairs. We'll finance it, right? Here's one that I love to ask, and don't mean any offense to anybody, but if you're an agent, and I would ask you, you've done this for 15, 20 years, right?
35.
How many?
35.
35. All right, so he's done it. So I would say if you had a client you sold a home to 5 years or longer, and I would ask you, you did your job, you found them the right house, it was fine, everything went smooth, they closed. Do you think that they would remember who you are, your name, your phone number? Would they remember you? You're going to go with yes? I would say, and I'm looking at on the lender side too, I would say, nope, they're probably not going to remember me. And that's just the truth of the matter. But if you had them gain instant equity, you put them in this deal, and I know a couple of you have done these deals, and the client got to fix the home the way they wanted, and then they ended up with $40,000 or $50,000 equity. Do you think they're going to remember you? Well, they better. And they better send you everyone they know, right? So that's, some of the value of this. So the bottom line is that they can make the home their own. There's no restrictions. There's a lot of misconception that there's what you can and cannot do with a renovation loan. Like the buyer picks all their finishes. We don't care if they want $200 a foot tile backslat. That's fine. As long as it fits in the budget, that's great. They get to pick everything. They drive the project. Okay. So important to remember. We go to the so some this picture isn't so great. We have some better ones, out there. So one of the things I want to make sure you understand, and there's a lot of misconception on this, there aren't two loans in this. It is purchase and renovation all together in one loan. So having said that, here's another important thing I want you to remember as an agent, as you're talking to buyers. There is no special qualification for this loan. If you qualify for FHA, guess what? You qualify for FHA 203k, which is a renovation loan. Does anyone know? Here's bonus points. Maybe you know this. What's a regular FHA loan called? If the reno is a 203k, what's the regular loan? There's probably lenders out there that know. All right, what's it called?
Annual non-conforming.
No, 203B. So it's the same thing. It's just another letter. So it's all the same section in the underwriting. Credit, income, assets, all the same. Same with conventional. Fannie Mae or Fannie Mae HomeStyle, right? So you're going to get a lot of resistance from listing agents who are like, we're not going to take that offer, this renovation thing, take that thing, let me throw that in the garbage, because they don't understand it. So I want you to be armed with that knowledge that, hey, this is a regular loan, so you don't want to buy it with a regular loan. So something to keep in mind there. Yes.
Because usually an FHA loan, it's pretty strict on condition of the property. So you're saying 203k, you're not as strict on what's wrong with the property?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the question, if you didn't hear on the stream here, is FHA is pretty strict on the condition of the property. Somewhat, it's all about health and safety issues. You still have to address it in a 203k renovation loan. As long as you're building in what that issue is, the dollars to fix it, you're all good. That's what you're doing. And that's a good point you bring up, that any inspection issues, I mean, don't throw away a deal because there's some inspection issues. I mean, obviously, if it's a structural issue that is a fatal error, like the house is going to fall down, well, get your buyer out of that contract. But otherwise, try to make it a renovation loan. Yeah, back there.
So you have a VA version of this, don't you? Similar?
Put me on the spot here. We currently are not offering the VA renovation loan. And it's, I'll give you the short answer. We're trying to work out some some kinks in that because VA will not guarantee the loan until all the repairs are done and stuff. So we're trying to work that out between, back room here and our investors that buy the renovation loans. Other question back there? Right.
On a conventional, we can do this on a conventional loan?
Yeah, same thing. Conventional is called the Fannie Mae HomeStyle.
And can we do 3% on conventional or is it 5%?
Yeah, so the question is, what's the down payment? The cool thing is, again, what I said, all the loans are the same in terms of credit, income, asset qualifying. Same with loan to values. FHA 3.5% down. Conventional, you can do a 3% down version with the HomeStyle. Same as you would with a regular conventional. The great thing is, and I think most of you have heard this back in October, Fannie Mae amended their loan to value or their down payment requirements. We can now offer an owner occupied 2, 3, and 4 unit 5% down, and you can combo it with rental. I'm sure you can find some clients out there if you look. Would you like to buy a 2, 3, or 4 unit? Let's get it fixed up for you and get top market rent and show you how to cash flow it, right?
So do you repeat that? So we can do a 2, 3, 4 unit home style.
Yeah, it's breaking news from if you didn't catch the news before, back a few months back, 5% down, 2, 3, or 4 unit Fannie Mae HomeStyle. So which means you can buy it, add the money to fix up to a 4 unit conventional owner occupied. Yes, it's the greatest program out there. That if you're not doing it, I would suggest put this out to your databases, and you should be able to get some folks to raise some hands, say, hey, I want to know about this, right?
What's the maximum loan amount?
Oh, I knew he was going to say that. It's in the million something. We can look up because they just changed last month, for January, but I can send those out to you. It's a pretty high loan amount. So lots of deals to be had in that space. Multifamily renovation is a great product.
Yeah, real quick. I know some people won't qualify for FHA. Sometimes the financial situation is that way. But assuming that they qualify for a conventional as well, what would be the benefit from one to the other when you compare FHA loan versus a home sale?
Well, one's the loan amount. FHA lower loan amounts, right? And so conventional higher loan amounts, right? That would be the biggest benefit. The other one is that conventional doesn't have that upfront 1.75 mortgage insurance fee, the one time. But on the flip side, if you can't credit qualify them conventional, then you still have that FHA option in the back.
Pete, you want to talk a little bit about cash reserve requirements, moving from one property, converting? Let me just talk. I was going to ask a question, but we're using that. So, I'm Billy Kramer. I'm on the team here at Neighborhood Loans. The reason I wanted to answer this question is we specifically had an FHA better situation on the renovation loan we are doing right now. And that is we have a borrower who owns a property and they're going to move to another primary residence and do a renovation loan on it. And in the conventional loan, they had to have 6 months cash in reserves that they didn't have. The FHA loan, they did not have those 6 months cash in reserves, which is both payments, 6 months. And they were able to qualify on the FHA loan. So the FHA loan's better in that situation.
There you go. For lower cash positions, FHA will be better.
Expertise can help the borrower figure out which path is better.
Right.
Sometimes it's just bad believers.
Well, exactly. And look, don't get too hung up in the FHA versus conventional. We're here to help you figure out which one will work and why.
We'll figure out the loan.
We'll figure out the loan amount. We just go
the client, right?
Go find the multifamily buyers. We promise you will cash a pretty large check. So again, the interesting thing is, picture's worth 1,000 words. We do have some great marketing material. I think, Fred, we've done a couple pieces for a couple properties that what it currently looks like now and what it can look like. We can create those pieces for any open houses that you're hosting. It's a fabulous way to show the buyer what it can be, because when they walk in and they see the place, on the left, and they're like, oh, don't really want that home, but you know, turn it into the one on the right here. That's what we can do. So you have to help them create that dream vision. Okay, we can help you out. We have very specific examples. I think we covered this, and one of the things. So we should have, the down payment stuff has changed. Obviously, it's 5%. Well, we have that in there, conventional as low as 5%, all the way up to 4 units, right? We already talked about qualifying the same way as a regular FHA versus renovation loan, no difference. Conventional, the same way, right? We talked about that it combines it into one loan. So here's a couple examples of that that before and after, or old and updated. We got the retro kitchen there, pretty cool. I think that's coming back, you know, Brady Bunch style, right?
We specialize in taking the modern and making it.
Yeah, we could do the flip side, right? But you know, one of the things I want to point out, you know, so you could do a whole brand new kitchen, you know, you want to update the bath, or the one over here on the right, you probably don't, in that living space, you probably don't even notice much of a difference, right? They just wanted to change out flooring and trim, right? And maybe the windows, right? So windows, trim, flooring, you can do all that stuff. It's, again, the buyer drives the project. Whatever they want done, we'll do it. Or we'll help them do it. Contractor will do the work. Okay. So one of the things that we talked about, like structural, obviously if it's beyond repair, you don't want to put your client in that position, but sometimes there's an opportunity for your buyer if there's a property that has some structural issues. We can incorporate the structural fix in there, right? Additions, and we'll have a pretty cool picture later on of what you can do with an addition. So with this product, you can, depending on where it's at geographically, the municipality, like Chicago lots. I don't think, right? You're in Chicago, Lewis. You can't go out, right? Because you'll probably be in a neighbor's bedroom or kitchen or whatever, right? So, and sometimes it's hard to go back, but you could actually do a roof tear off, right? And add a couple bedrooms and baths. I know that's pretty common in the city area, depending where you're at or wherever anyone is out here on streaming. You know, there's a lot of old housing stock in there that people love the neighborhood they're in, but they need more space. So we could just add on to the top, right?
Or for a lot of them, they can't afford to get into that neighborhood, but they could just remodel and add to their own home.
Yeah, so I don't know if you heard that out here. A lot of folks can't afford to buy that fixed up place, right? But we can put them in a situation to add on to their existing place, you know, or smaller place, and make it what they need it to be for their family. We get, so remodel kitchen, baths. You can do energy improvements, you know, as little as painting, you know, plumbing, heating, anything you can imagine.
So just bringing that concept up again for you realtors. Your clients put second story additions on their home so that when they are ready to sell in 3, 4, 5, 10 years, the listings that are coming back to you are worth a heck of a lot more than the ones that they have right now.
Well, and it creates opportunity, right? You know, if you can do that for one family, I mean, when they have their family get-togethers, like, well, how'd you do this? Well, my great friend realtor Lewis, or my great friend Fred, the realtor, this is the guy or the girl that you need to call. I promise you that's how they will refer you. Like, this person changed my life. I mean, that's what you're here to do.
So Lewis did a major 203k on his home, and every time he has a party, he shows me the house all over again.
It's amazing, guys. You know, the pride somebody gets from saying, hey, this is a kitchen that I designed, and the bath. You just can't express that in words. I mean, you have to listen to some of the clients, and we could share. We actually do the loan. We close renovation loans every month, so we're a lender that actually does this. We can show you real live success stories. So
can I have you step up and talk about your project for a second? Come on, don't be shy.
There he is.
No. Hi. Up here in front of the camera. How's it going, everybody? Luis Rojas, Exit Real Estate.
So yes, I did a rental on a property I actually had listed. This property, I probably had 3 or 4 contracts on it, and they all fell apart because there were some structural issues, and nobody wanted to take on the repair. It was a lot of work. Ended up going to my client saying, "Hey, listen, let's just rent it." "No, we can't. We gotta sell it." I said, "Okay, what if I buy it?" I didn't think my wife was gonna like it. I thought, I said maybe I said that a little too soon. So I said, okay. After I said I'll buy it, I went brought my wife to see it, and I thought she's gonna kill me. But no, she said, okay, maybe we could do something with this. And I'm telling you, it was nasty. It even smelled bad. Anyway, we went ahead and did it. We did an addition. We renovated the entire property. Even had to add square footage to the basement because it was too low. I'm short, but she was using it too low for me. And so we went ahead and did everything. I mean, we took out a loan of about $275,000. I thought we were going to do it like 125, so I went way over. But we took care of the addition. We took care of the basement. We had to do underpinning. We had to dig it out and remodel the entire inside. And now this home is unrecognizable. I mean, it went from, I bought it for like 100. It's easily worth about 500,000. And by the way, it's Summit. It's not even in Chicago.
There you go.
It's right next door.
So there
But
you
no,
go.
it
Real
was
life
great.
example.
So
Again,
it's a good example.
repeat those numbers. You bought it for 100, you put 275 in,
And so
and it's worth 500.
it's easily worth 500 right now. Right.
Right, so
Yeah.
you've got 125,000 of built-in equity.
For sure.
That you created.
Plus, I added that addition, so I've got a lot more square footage and usable square footage in the basement. And I'm sitting on a double lot, so
And taller people fit in there
I even feel taller.
now. No, but
There you go.
thank you so much for sharing. I mean,
How
yeah,
long did it take? The rental did take about 8 months. Initially, when I got into this, I thought we had to be done within 6, but no. All we did is like kind of just let them know what was going on. Obviously, our builder was letting the people on the other side know what was happening. And yeah, it took about 8 months. And by the way, one of the other things, I didn't know how it worked initially, because although I knew about the program, I hadn't actually used it. But people go in there and yeah, you go in, you do start making your payment, right? And that sucked, having to make the payment while I wasn't living there. I didn't like that part of it. But eventually, once we got in there, I was super happy.
You were able to, or better said, your wife was able to pick all the finishes that she wanted.
All the finishes that she wanted. I don't think I had any decision making. Yeah.
So
No,
they got the home she wanted. Perfect.
We got the home she wanted. No, actually, no. Yeah, I mean, I know I had the initial idea, but
It was
she
just,
came in with all of her.
this is broadcasting live to everybody. So.
Honey, if you're listening. No, yeah.
Awesome. But thank you for sharing
It
that.
was great. Mike helped me out, and Juanito over here. So, yes, sir.
Most importantly, how long did it take you to close that loan? Was it in the 30, 45 days?
Yeah,
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
So the question is,
Yeah,
and
it
this
was-
is
it was
what
fairly
agents
quick
want
close.
to know. How long does it take to close a renovation loan?
Yeah, no, it was like a traditional loan, 30 to 45 days.
And that's important. Write that one down too, because you're going to get all the other side, the listing, and say, we don't want these loans because they take forever to close, or the best one is they never close.
No.
We challenge that.
And back before the interest rate started going up, you guys made sure I got my interest rate below 4%. So that was really cool, because I think I was one of the last ones to get that.
There you go.
Hey, John,
Here's your money.
appreciate that.
All right.
Thanks. So guys, the same thing again. Get pre-approved with your awesome neighborhood loans.
Loya team loan officer.
Loan officer here, Rafael. I know we have a few of them out there. Get with your loan officers and get the clients pre-approved for this type of loan. They'll be excited. So it all works the same as a traditional process. So here's one that this was one that we hadn't done on our team. Certain areas in the country, you have the historical buildings, landmark ones. You can do that. You could do that within this loan as well, and clean up the exterior and leave it be that historical building. Yes.
Question, like, I know we started to renovate homes, some things can come up, like move a wall, there have to be.
Yeah.
Something in there that was not in the estimate
Yeah.
of the contractor, so, and if the buyer's qualified for X amount, and now something else happens, is there a buffer that
Yeah.
goes in there?
Yeah, and I think we'll talk about. So the question is, What if you get started, the project, the loan is closed and you have X amount of dollars for the budget and contractor opens up this wall and goes, uh-oh, Houston, we have a problem, right? And there is contingency reserve built in. And the bigger the project, the bigger the amount. It's a percentage, typically 10% if the utilities are on, 15% on the larger projects, could even go up to 20% if it's, something, if there's a lot of unknowns. And the HUD consultant will determine the contingency reserve. So 10 to 15% is that, is that amount, okay? So we kind of want to talk about how the process should work and how you as agents can help on the front side of things, right? So Louis, you're out showing a client a property. You guys are the experts in market value, right? I would hope you guys can know what a property could be worth if it's fully renovated, right? That's how you want to guide your clients, right? So we kind of know, well, if you buy this property for $250 and you put $100 into it, that's $350. We think it's going to be worth $400,000. We want you to do that initial, ballpark figure, right? You don't want to put somebody into something where they buy it for $250 and they put $100 into it, and that thing's going to be worth $300. That isn't a deal. We have to appraise. We have to get that value by doing those renovations, right? There are a couple different renovation loans. It's all the same, but by loan amount. Currently, right now, it's $35,000 or less is what we call the limited version, where you don't need this HUD consultant, which we'll talk about in a second here. Anything over $35,000 and or structural improvements needed, you need a HUD consultant, okay? Appraisal, we kind of talked a little bit, 1 second, Juan, about the appraisal. We talked about that it's going to be a subject to appraisal. So I told you to write down, what's the first thing I said, write down? No as is appraisal, right? And I still get the question, I've done this for so many years. Well, Pete, what'd the property appraise for, before doing any work? I don't know. We don't do it.
Right.
We're only looking at it as subject to. And this is where I guess I want to touch a little bit on if anybody here, a listing agent as well, right? I assume you work with sellers and buyers, or you'd like to work with both. It's kind of a cool thing with the seller. You can go in and say, I can help market this property using a renovation loan, and nobody's going to come and appraise this house what it currently is, right? So, because a lot of times that house may not appraise, right? But if somebody does the right improvements, definitely will appraise. Question back there?
So say, you say a good point, so say they purchased a house at 200,000 and it's gonna take 100,000. The highest common subdivision is 275. But they still want to move forward because they know that they're gonna stay in the house for 10 years, and they do that.
Yes, they can. So with FHA, what?
So with the loan.
Yeah, so that one will actually work. So the question was, somebody buys a house for $200,000, needs $100,000 of work. It's $300,000, and it's only going to appraise for $275. That's the highest comp, right? So everyone have the quick math. What's 275? What's 27?
3025.
3025. So he's got the math. That's right. So I was going to say it's over the 300. So FHA has a kind of a built-in escalation clause that you can go 110% above the appraised value. Conventional does not. So we could squeeze that out, FHA within the loan. So that's a good point. We talked about backwards. You could, so one of the things is too, you could also fix up. We didn't even talk about exterior stuff, right? The house needed a little bit of yard work here. You can build that in as well. Now, keep in mind that extra yard work doesn't exactly add that much value. So it's got to fit into the budget overall. So here's one of my favorite parts. Is anyone in the room a contractor? Oh boy. All right, sir, you must leave. Oh, just kidding. We love, so the biggest issue, and Mike is awesome because he's a real estate agent with a contractor background. So he's He's dangerous out there. He knows what it takes. Now, one of the biggest problems that these deals run across, which we have a solution for, is the contractor. Like if you have, like Mike's a very detailed person, and there's probably contractors out there that you guys have dealt with before, right? That aren't detail people, right? And they'll say, yeah, I can give an estimate, and it's they'll do a narrative, and they'll say $150,000, and they'll just write it a piece of paper. I've seen Mike's stuff, and he's like, this is every line item that it takes to arrive at that number. The biggest challenge again is the contractor in this. So we would ask you, if you have great contractors that you've worked with, that you recommend some contractors to your clients, because that will save you some hassle there. We do have through our HUD consulting firm that we have teamed up with. They can recommend some contractors out there to the client. They will engage that if needed. So just something to keep in mind, that the contractor does have to provide some paperwork. So, let's talk about the HUD consultant. If that amount is over 35,000 and or structural, and I believe that this one has been updated just in the last month or so. HUD has updated their fees. They gave these guys a raise, but these are the approximate amounts. It goes by dollar amount. What they will charge to do that upfront, what's called specification of repair report. That's the report that's needed with the line items broken down, what's going to be done to the property, the dollar amount. That's what's needed to do the appraisal. Okay. Now, if it's the limited version, we just need a contractor bid to send to the appraisal company. So important to know, when agents call up, hey, Pete, order the appraisal. Can't order the appraisal. That's why the contractor is important. We need the bid or the consultant report, okay? So that's just a slight difference within that program versus a regular FHA or regular conventional program. As long as you're on it from the beginning, there are no delays, so it's good to know the process. Any questions? Oh,
Sorry. So
yeah,
you're
no
saying
worries.
that if we have our own contractor come in and he comes back and says, okay, it's gonna be $50,000 for this repair.
Yeah.
Now we have to go to the HUD and say, we have that consultant and my buyer has to pay that fee. Just get it clear from HUD.
Well, they are HUD licensed, so they're not, it's not calling somebody at HUD. So they're just maintain a HUD consultant license. What they're going to do, we'll use your contractor's bid. They're there to just look at it in general, make sure they're not overpriced or even worse, underpriced. So, because then the project will never get done. So they're going to do that. They'll question maybe some line items, say, well, hey, the square footage or the square footage of the roof, you don't have enough in here to finish this roof. I mean, are we missing something, or you're off by 50% or something like that? Also, the HUD consultant will be the person that will help administer the draws once the work is being done. They're the person that the borrower and contractor calls out, say, hey, where's my money? Okay, so they serve two purposes.
Right, so
Pete,
Yeah.
that's only for a 203k, is that right?
Technically, yes. So the question is a HUD consultant, and the word, keyword HUD, only for the FHA renovation loans? The technical answer is yes, but in practice, no. We're using on the conventional one as well, because we found that it's easier to use a HUD consultant than some of these other project management companies out there. We gained some consistency. So we are using it both for FHA and conventional. It technically doesn't have to be in that same format, the specification of repair report, but it's easy enough. Just do it the same way and maintain consistencies. And then if we have to flip-flop the program, conventional over to FHA, something happened that in the qualifications, easy enough to do. We have an SOR report.
and if you think about it, that have somebody oversee $100,000 project for $1,000, that's actually pretty cheap.
Yeah, there's some draw inspections as well as they come out. Okay, so a couple, you know, can you guys see these that well? I know it's on a projector, but, and hopefully the group here, streaming could see it, but, you know, I would say that top kitchen, that was, what years are those? Mike, would you know what years are that kitchen style? 80s, and it was, I mean, very functional. That kitchen probably is not broken, right? I think it works, but like today's, you know, the style is now the one below. So you can take that kitchen and make it into that. The fake baths, it's Juan's favorite bath color of choice here. You could redo the whole bath, design, whatever you want to do in a bath. The consultant, I think we didn't talk about that they will meet the client at the property to go through the scope of their project so they understand everything they want to do. And we talked about they'll prepare that detailed report broken down by material and labor. Has to be broken down by that. That's not an option. So that's why it's good to have a contractor that understands that. Okay. The last one I kind of want to just mention that it's the consultant being the person that inspects the work. That's actually not, don't take that literal. When they mean inspects, they come out and make sure that that part has been done. Like if you said there's a bath and it's a full bath, is there a full bath there, shower, you know, toilet, sink, all that? They are not looking at and checking the grout lines are perfect. You know, somebody does better work than others. That is not their function. Okay. They're just there to move it along, percentage of completion. Okay. You wanted tile, there's tile there, right? We needed a stove, kitchen, cabinets, they're there, great, move on, right? We'll pay out.
With that said, the client and, you know, the client is also the homeowners involved in this process. So if the work is not being completed in a way that they're satisfied with, they've got to be talking to the contractor.
Yeah, 100%. And the check is a two-party check made out to the homeowner and the contractor. So they definitely do need to agree on, hey, the work is done, we're all good, sign it over to the contractor. Okay. Oh, this one's my favorite. We got to here. So would you think your client, you had a client, Lewis, you're taking out the client, do they want to buy the house on the left or would they want to buy the one on the right?
On the right.
They want to buy the house on the right. That's okay because it's the same house, right? Yes?
Yes.
No? Yeah, it is.
Same, yeah.
It wasn't even a question, right? So you can see the fence. I don't know if you could see that. That's the same exact house. That one was my client that I helped do that deal for. She was like, hey, I need more space. I'm not moving, right? I said, okay, there you go. She had a great contractor that came in.
So Lewis, in 5 years, which house would you rather list? Right?
Yeah.
So we need all of your clients in Garfield Ridge saying, hey, listen, you know, we can add square footage and enjoy a much bigger home.
And this is typical Chicago bungalow. I don't know where everyone's selling real estate. I mean, I don't, you know, when I talk to some agents, where do you sell? Well, everywhere, Pete. I sell it. I mean, you know, where's your area? Are you a city person? Are you, you're suburban? You know, so wherever your area is, I know there's up north. We drove around that Skokie, Norridge Park. I mean, if you go down those blocks, there's opportunity. You can show, the cool thing on those blocks is you could show the client, hey, let's just try. Well, here's a nice little house. We can pick it up for this, and we could drive a couple blocks over. We'll check this one out. We can do that for you. So, and we can show you some success stories to help you sell your clients as well.
And this is really good for us as agents because we're helping somebody buy, and when they resell, they're not reselling the same home. I mean, when we list the property, if it looks like this, it's a greater commission for us because it's a higher dollar amount.
Well, here's the other thing. I mean, like this house, sort of, if they could, there's houses that are being converted like that, but let's say, Juan and company have gone in and bought the house and fixed it up and they're selling it back, to your client. Well, your client is getting that equity here doing this deal, right? We don't need to go through the definitions from So here's one. I don't know what happened in this house, but that kitchen was kind of a mess, and somebody turned it into kind of a neat design there, like a farmhouse style kitchen. But
Was that when you went away for the weekend and your kid
My-
went apart?
my kid, yeah, that was probably it. You know, my kid had a few friends over. Dad, it's only a few. But so I think, you know, we went over the entire process. It's no different. It's no different than regular home pre-approval, buying process, closing process. Just, it's only that contractor and subject to appraisal piece. That's the only difference in this whole thing. Oh, so here's the, I don't know if it's up there, but there's a couple things I want to mention. One of the questions I get all the time still, well, hey, Pete, you know, does all the work have to be done before we close the loan? Of course not. I mean, that would be ridiculous, right? What seller's going to say, hey, we're going to wait, you know, my client, Lewis needs 8 months to finish his job and then we'll pay you. No, I mean, the seller's out, like closes in a normal time frame and then do the work, right?
Yeah, and sellers like that because they presume that they have to wait for the
Yeah.
property's rentals closed.
Yeah, and again, guys, these are the properties. You gotta think this in your head that if there's properties out there that need some work, these listing agents are just, they're not familiar with the product. So they're scared that they don't want the deal to fall apart because there's too many things that need to be fixed up. So you go in with confidence, say, don't worry about it. My client, the buyer, is pre-approved with neighborhood loans to fix whatever's needed on the property. So that's what you need to say. Then you need to say, you don't have to believe me. Call Raphael. He's going to let you know that yes, they are pre-approved to fix whatever is needed to be fixed in the house. So then their question would be, what's the problem? Why wouldn't you take this offer?
One of the ways that I use this for my clients is that some of the people are FHA only.
Yeah, that's a
Some
good
of the
point.
people only qualify for FHA financing, and so they're out there looking for a property, and they only qualify for, you know, so much, whatever the case may be. The property itself has so many repairs, and not like major repairs, just enough that most people, you know, just aren't going to pass a traditional FHA appraisal. So then I tell them, hey, no problem. We can use this rental program. They'll fix the FHA issues that are out there,
Plus whatever.
within the realm of what they qualify for. And now they're able to buy that property that otherwise is untouchable because even the listing agent is like, well, we can't do FHA because it won't pass the FHA inspection or appraisal, right? And so with this, they take care of those things and they get the property. Now we're not talking full blown rental, right? But just enough to pass it and be able to buy it. So
Yeah, that's a great point, right? So you gotta be creative out there. If you didn't think that way, like we talked about in the beginning, again, I asked the question, you know, rhetorically, like, who loves, I don't know if you were here for that, who loves getting in their car? And I think there was one person that loved it. Every Saturday and Sunday and driving a client to 25 houses. Do you love it? Well, I know your deal. You don't answer that quick because he's laughing because we have a buyer that's tough to, and we talked about renovation potentially. Now, it didn't fit this client's needs because of a different situation, down payment assistance and all that. So one thing to keep in mind, you cannot combine Illinois down payment assistance with this product. Doesn't exist, okay? So that's the only reason why Fred here as a client, he would have said renovation is the way to go.
Yep.
Okay, but yeah, so you can solve those problems on any of those houses. Like every house needed something, unless, you know, they might have been outbid on a couple, but every house needed something.
So if I can add to that, so Lewis is a guy that sells 50 homes a year. And he really kind of got bit by this 203k bug. Not only did he do his personal home with it, but I was asking Mike the other day, you know, he said, oh, you know, Lou sent over another client to 203k. I'm like, does this guy know how to sell houses the way they are? Or does everything have to be fixed
I like
up?
things easy, one, right?
So, you know, Lou has learned that, you know, he can sell the neighborhood and talk to the client about, hey, fix up the kitchen how you want it, the bathroom how you want it. You love the house, you love the area, we can fix the house how you want it. And, you know, he's, rather than go show another 20 houses, he's like, let's write an offer on this one. And then he's thinking, hey, fixed up, it's worth this. I know you can do the kitchen for this, you know, kind of giving them some guidance, and, you know, he put some deals together. So, you know, but again, it's just kind of, and, you know, once you get bit by that bug, you understand it. Yeah.
It becomes a tool.
It becomes a tool, right? How to sell more houses with less showings.
So, couple, you want to hit the next, I mean, you could do some exterior stuff, you know, clean up the outside. We showed some landscaping stuff, you know, decking, you know, oh, this is, we just added this, excuse me. So there's some new rules depending on, you know, the municipalities, and Chicago's a wild, you know, who knows in Chicago what's allowed on accessory dwelling units. But you can, with a conventional loan, you could actually build a little accessory dwelling unit. So you can build an in-law suite or something, you know, just a additional footage within that. So
Build a garage for your wife.
yeah, right. Exactly. So that's really all I had for you today. You know, there's some great questions, but you know, key takeaways. One of the things is multifamily renovation, 5% down. I mean, how many deals can you go get? You got to go. You just got to think that way. I like Lewis's thing. You know, sell the neighborhood. Anything that needs to be fixed, no problem. You know, pre-approval's the same on any property in any condition. You just have to think that way. You know, so we're just here to help you just put that top of mind with the client. One of the other things we I don't even know if we have it available. You did some video stuff. Are you able to?
It'd be hard to find right now.
So, and we might be able to send that out. I think we could share it. So what we've been doing is taking video and social media, and we all know, right? And so explain what we did here and what you can do in your sphere of influence to get clients today.
Right. So first of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out today. So Pete is our you know, our topic expert, but understand that everybody on the team is well versed in renovation loans. So if you have a rental client, if you have any questions, reach out to the loan officer who invited you, and that's your primary point of contact. So Lou, do not call Pete, you call me, right?
Always do.
Right. So one of the things that we wanted to do is not only have you guys understand the program, you know, the spirit of it and what we're doing, but we want to help you guys and walk out of here with some turnkey marketing of how to help you find a client who's interested in a house that you can, you know, buy, fix, and live in, and take advantages of the program. So what we're going to do here shortly, and the reward for showing up live. So let me tell this to the guys on StreamYard, right? Hey guys, so the reward for coming here live today is we're going to work with you guys to put together some social media streams that you can put out. Walk out of here with some streams, some reels, some TikToks, whatever the heck you call them now. And we'll give you some examples of that. I can't do that virtually, so that's what we're going to do now. So I'm basically going to thank everybody who did come to StreamYard, who did come to our virtual presentation. Reach out to the loan officer who invited you, and we'll have to set up a one-on-one time to do what we're going to do now, right? So thank everybody on StreamYard. Say goodbye, Pete.
Thanks. Goodbye, Pete. Oh, I'm Pete.